Yeah, it's a little bit of that. It has like the Christmas Carol thing. I think all three of the characters are Scrooge a little bit. They these you know.
One reason Giamatti raised attended a prep school himself. Part was familiar.
Most of it was pretty familiar to me. I had teachers.
I can hear it. Volume on the Samsung one. Huh? Is it the yellow one? Let me take.
Is this volume need to go up? Can you check to see if the wire headset is working? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I'm not hearing it through here at all. Testing 1 2.
Definitely coming into the headphones.
Okay.
Those two. First two should be at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Test. Yep.
Testing 1 2. Test. Testing. Testing 1 2.
Here we are, folks.
Let us now settle into a spirit of worship with a moment of quiet to be followed by the music of our music director, Matthew Johnson, a piece entitled Creative Mind, sung by the choirs of First Unitarian and UUCW. You are also invited at this time to light a silent candle of joy or sorrow.
words of James Villa Blake as our chalice lighting this morning. We laid our chalice in the spirit of this church, knowing that love is the spirit of this church and service is its law. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Worcester, a congregation of love, hope, and justice, inspiring people to take on the challenges of a changing world. My name is Barry Brigham, and I'm one of your worship associates this morning. We begin by acknowledging that in Worcester, Massachusetts, we work, learn, live, and worship on the seized ancestral homeland of the Nipmuc people who survive and remain active as the Nipmuc Nation. Remain active as the Nipmuc Nation. Wow. Remain active as the Nipmuc Nation. Thank you. Is that God or is that me? The Nipmuc Nation. Thank you. Is that God or is that me? The Nipmuc Nation. Thank you. Is that God or is that me? The Nipmuc Nation. Thank you. Is that God or is that me? Are we waiting? Okay. We offer a special welcome to those of you that are new or visiting with us for the first time this morning. Special welcome to those of you that are new or visiting with us. Hey, great. I'm gonna have a shadow all day. We are delighted that you are here. We hope that you will join us in Fellowship Hall following the service for refreshments and conversation. If you have questions or desire more information about this service or any of the ministries and programs of this congregation, please do not hesitate to ask. We do invite you to fill out one of the cards found in the pews. These cards can be placed in the offering plate or given to one of the ushers or greeters this morning. For those of you that are joining us online this morning, we offer a very special welcome for safety purposes and so that we might come to know you better. As you are able, please place your name on the video feed. Please take a moment to sign one of the attendance clipboards that are now being circulated. Though you are not obligated to sign, we appreciate your information and will only use it for church purposes. During the service, we offer an opportunity to share a brief personal joy or sorrow. If you would like yours to be read aloud by the minister, please print it on an index card in the pew and drop it in the collection plate when it comes around. These cards will also be posted outside the minister's office to be shared with our friends at other services. For those online, you can place a joy or sorrow in the chat, and we will read it sometime during this service. In the foyer, there are listening devices and large print service programs and hymnals for those who may find their assistance beneficial. Please see one of the ushers who will be pleased to assist you. I now invite you to turn your technology to worship mode. And finally, please note the announcements on the back of your program. There will be time for short verbal announcements following the postlude. We are so glad that you are here this morning. This is an opportunity for rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. We do have an announcement today that after church, in meeting room 1, the 8th Principal Committee and the Addressing Racism Support Group of this church will be showing the 4th video in the series and having a discussion about how to talk about race. Please join us. Any members or friends of UUCW are invited to attend. If you'd like more information on this discussion group, you can talk to me, Barry Brigham, Mara Pentlarge, or Evan Wilson after church. Thank you. Our opening words this morning are written by the Reverend Tess Bomberger. This is based on 1 Corinthians 13. Love is kind with people, but impatient with injustice. Love is assertive and respectful. Love listens to the anger of those who experience oppression without responding, without defending, without interrupting, without explaining. It listens with compassion, seeking always to understand. Love is slow to anger, especially at the start or end of life, and with anyone who the world discounts. Yet, Anger can be a part of love. Consider the force with which parents defend their young. Love fears for those it loves and for what it loves. When who or what it loves cannot defend itself, love rises to defend. When those it loves have the power of defense, it takes their lead with humility and courage. Love assists, empowers, and frees. Love's anger rises to meet injustice in considered ways that help correct it. Love is willing to examine itself, its thoughts, its actions, and unmeditated bias. It recognizes one's power to harm or to be systems of harm with or without awareness. But once aware, it can only intend to make amends, to right the wrongs, to change the systems that legislate hatred. Love is always willing to change, always to learn, always to heal. Love rejoices in truth and in equity. There is no limit to love's steady presence, or its holding us gently but insistently to what is right. Our opening hymn this morning is number 131 in our great hymnal, Love Will Guide Us.
Please be seated. I want to call forth our basket bearers, those youth among us who are part of our religious exploration program, whose task it is each time we gather for worship to offer the opportunity to donate change as a contribution to the emergency fund of this congregation. If you have change you would like to share, please raise your hands, and one of our basket bearers will be around to find you. Carrots and broccoli just won't do. I want to invite Evan Wilson to come forward at this time with our 8th principal moment this month.
Good morning. My name is Evan Wilson, and I am a member of the 8th Principal Task Force. UUCW's 8th Principal Task Force aims to educate and inspire our community to incorporate anti-racist and anti-oppressive commitments as part of our faith. The 8th Principal Moment is a monthly opportunity to think more deeply about how racism and oppression manifest in our everyday lives and continue to hold such issues in the forefront of our hearts and minds. Earlier this month, I had a mini field trip opportunity with other members of the 8th Principal Task Force. Worcester's celebration of Black History Month was getting kicked off at the Worcester Center for Crafts. There is a lovely exhibition of Black-made art, and they had an opening program where local city officials were there and read the City of Worcester's declaration for the 2024 celebration and recognition of Black History Month. The text was quite moving. It is a statement from our elected officials describing their commitment and some history around Black history. It celebrates local Black organizations that were a part of it, and also calls kind of us as citizens into the celebration and into reflection and potential action. So I wanted to read some excerpts of it today, and then following the service, I will have it posted outside on the 8th Principal bulletin board. So it reads, City of Worcester, a resolution of declaration, affirmation, and recognition of Black History Month in the year 2024, presented in collaboration with Worcester Black History Project, Worcester NAACP, Our Story Edutainment, Imagine Institute, and the Village Worcester. During Black History Month, we celebrate the vast contributions of African Americans to our nation's history and identity. And Black History Month grew out of the establishment in 1926 of Negro History Week by Dr. Carter Woodson, a Virginian, and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. This year's theme for Black History Month, African American Art, is infused with all the influences and intersections born out of the African diaspora, as seen evidenced within the African, Caribbean, and Black American lived experiences in the fields of visual and performing arts, literature, fashion, folklore, language, film, music, architecture, culinary, and other forms of cultural expressions. The African American influence has been paramount. And African American artists have used art to preserve history and community memory, as well as for empowerment. Artistic and cultural movements such as the New Negro, Black Arts, Black Renaissance, hip hop, and Afrofuturism have been led by people of African descent and set the standard for popular trends around the world. The suffering of those in bondage gave birth to the spirituals, the nation's first contribution to music. Blues musicians such as Robert Johnson, McKinley Muddy Waters, Morganfield, and Riley B.B. King created what grew to be the foundation for gospel, soul, and other current popular forms of music. Black contributions to literature included works by poets like Phyllis Wheatley, essays and autobiographies. Black aesthetics have also been manifested through sculptors in the United States. And celebrating the entire history of African Americans in the arts puts into the national spotlight the richness of the past and present, with an eye towards what the rest of the 21st century will bring. Black History Month helps reinforce America's highest ideals, our respect for diversity, community, and freedoms. Black History Month is an important time to celebrate contributions that recognize the ethnic and racial diversity that strengthens and uplifts our city. Stating that Black Lives Matter does not negate our commitment to all members of our community, but rather elevates Black people. We believe that white allies, along with a varied contingency of varied races and ethnicity in the Worcester community and others, can help work towards racial justice. The Worcester City Council believes no person should be discriminated against on the basis of age, creed, disability, ethnic background, gender identity or expression, marital status, national origin, political beliefs, race, religion, sexual orientation, or size. Black community members continue to experience microaggressions, racial profiling, hate incidents, and racial bias in our systems. The Worcester City Council believes that not seeing color or being colorblind is detrimental to advancing the cause of racial justice. The Worcester City Council believes that white supremacy exploits and oppresses Black people and serves as detriments to racial justice. We acknowledge that we have never fully lived up to the founding ideals of this country. Throughout the arc of history to the present day, Black and African Americans have experienced and endured injustices and inequities, not just from societal and institutional biases and racism rooted in white supremacy, but also from fellow Americans. It is imperative that each of us as elected leaders take action to realize true reforms. It closes with some commitments to the celebrations, as well as thinking about being proactive. So I will leave you with that for now. I appreciate the time, and I will post the proclamation up over on our bulletin board. Thank you.
Would you like to hear some good news? Would you really like to hear some good news? Excellent. Yesterday, we saw this place completely filled and full of families from the Indian Society of Worcester. They have come here on a regular basis throughout the year to be able to celebrate puja. And in this case, it was Lakshmi Puja, or no, Saraswati Puja. And Saraswati is the goddess of education and music and wisdom, and it was an extraordinary experience to have the goddess present in this sanctuary where the tenors and basses are sitting this morning. Was a very large statue of Saraswati, along with all manner of decrement, and the floor was covered with all manner of offerings. Everyone who entered the sanctuary, including me yesterday, took their shoes off. I'm just saying. The hallway full, it tells me that something unique and spectacular is going on in this building, and the aroma of vegetarian Indian food filled this place and my belly and everyone else's. Even more spectacular, I think, were the presence of multiple generations, from young one-year-olds that were crawling and ambling across the floor to children that were circling the pews like sharks, parents wandering, trying to catch up with them, elders that were just living in awe of the life of their community, and the ability for them to come to a place that was safe and welcoming, a place which they could honor as well as occupy. And they are grateful to us. I am grateful to you for making this space available for such events and so many others. For those who helped to make yesterday possible, Dee Hudson, who is in the back here, who's our new sexton, I think put in all of her 10 hours in the last 14 hours this week, making certain that the place was ready and cleaned up afterwards. Our tech team, who had to hurriedly this morning figure out why certain buttons and knobs were turned when they probably shouldn't have been, and that is all on me. So I owe them a debt of gratitude as well. And I think the best news this morning is our choir. It is extraordinary. I have been here 25 years next fall, and this is the first time in 25 years that we have brought these choirs together It is a remarkable experience. And I'm so honored that you would be with us this morning and grace us and bless us with such beautiful music. Thank you very much, all of you, for that. That is tremendous news. And it is an honor of that tremendous news and so many other things that we do here that we take up an offering. A weekly opportunity for us to gift that which is symbolic of our own efforts and values in order to further the mission and ministry of this congregation and this movement to which our congregations belong. So I invite those of you who want to participate in this morning's offering to reach into the pocket of the person sitting in front of you, pull out their checkbook, write the check you always wanted, or you can dial 508-231-5335 on your smartphone and give digitally. At this time, the morning offering will be received. We give thanks for giving and forgiving. We come to that time in our service when we're given pause to consider what is deepest in our hearts and most profoundly on our minds, or in the work of our hands in the days that have transpired, or in the prospect of days to come, joys and sorrows that touch us deeply and are given another measure of meaning because of our capacity to share them in the midst of a company that claims us as a co-journeyer. So I invite those of you who have joys or sorrows this day to come forward and to speak briefly into the microphone, telling us first who you are, so that those using our auditory enhancement devices might also participate in this important ritual, and then to light a candle if you so desire. If you would like me to read your joy or sorrow aloud, you're welcome to bring it forward on an index card for their joys or sorrows to be shared this day.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? My name is Matt Bajun. My dad died on January 26th. The services were last weekend. I certainly felt sadness in the last month, but I think the predominant emotion that I'm feeling is gratitude. Gratitude to all the members of this community who reached out by phone, by email, by Facebook. It really meant a lot. Gratitude for my wife, Kate, who really did amazing work to prepare our house to have company and make food for company. And of course, gratitude for my father and my mother, who really paved the way for so many wonderful things in my life. So it's a joy. And gratitude for Aaron.
Thank you.
Aaron said a wonderful service. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Grammy, I want to go to real church, not on the phone. So there's that. My name is Laura. I'm a self-proclaimed hermit lately. Happy Singles Appreciation Week, if, spoil yourself. I don't know if this is a joy or sorrow. So I've been quite codependent lately, self-proclaimed. This is going to be my first admission. Many of you know my mother was an alcoholic to the point that I took her off life support. I've had that therapist, God bless her, for that long. And now with my daughter, she is homeless, using drugs. I have so become codependent. I have listened to the police scanner to make sure I don't hear her name. I don't go anywhere, hence why my grandson today told me that we have to come here. And I have found myself just sitting and trying to rescue her. And then some family members said, let her go to God and release the. So I scratched my head and I said, well, being pagan, I guess I have to look up which God that I'm supposed to toss her to, because I'm also a very planned control freak. So I have to make sure I release her to the correct one so they don't screw it up. So I am going to take my grandson's advice and actually get off the phone, church, and come in again. Thank you.
Oh boy, hi. I'm Dawn Dowd. I'm not close enough. Hello, I'm Dawn Dowd, member of the choir. I don't know how to call this joy, sorrow, mixed blend of everything. We're waiting for my mom to have a biopsy. So it looks like she's got lung cancer that may be advanced. And this has been building since Thanksgiving. And between doctors saying, we don't think it's too bad, or my mom going, I think I want to wait, and me trying to coordinate and control and fix and hypervigilant my way through it all, I'm exhausted and I'm scared. So our biopsy is Friday. But then we've got another appointment with another ENT for something they found in her neck. And then we'll get the results on my chart. By the way, thank you, my chart, for letting me know everything that's happening before I have a chance to talk to a doctor and find out everything that's happening. Yay, and 15 years of disability claims, so I'm not a doctor, but I understand medical terms. That's not helping either. I don't even play a doctor on TV. So I didn't want to be here today because I wanted to stay home. And if you don't mind me stealing from you, be a hermit, because that's my go-to. And I knew this was a safe place to be, so that's why I know I have some joy here, and I'm grateful to Mara to listening to me. Yeah, and to have some community here. So thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mara Pintlarge. Thomas Doughton died about a week ago. He was a history professor at Holy Cross, Black man and member of the Nipmuc tribe, the local Native American tribe in Worcester and Central Massachusetts. I'm watching for news of his service, I plan to go. If anybody else is interested in going, talk to me. And next week after church, I'm going to lead a hike to the spring that was what the Packagug village gathered around, was built around before white people came here. There's a very nice video, Packagug, where the river bends. The river is the Blackstone River.
I'm Mark Schlesinger, better known as Annie, excuse me, I'm Mark Schlesinger, yeah, better known as Annie Armstrong's father and Robin's grandfather. I just want to thank members of the church for your contributions on the meal train. My wife, Fran, broke her wrist a week ago today and had surgery a couple days ago. And so obviously she's home. But we thank you. That just shows what a terrific place this is. We're fairly new. We joined, I think it was early November, and we're happy to be here. And if Linda Rich is here, I need to return your container, but I don't see her. Okay.
Good morning.
Find a penny, pick it up, and all day you'll have good
Oh,
luck.
thank goodness, I really needed that. January was a horrible month for me. I was overwhelmed and depressed with 5 funerals in 6 weeks. And I thank the support of my friends here at this church and the Women's Social Circle for lifting me up. I'm so grateful to be here. I am still visiting my friend Greta in the hospital, who's got COVID and pneumonia. She's 53. It's not looking good. Please send some more prayers her way. I am still visiting her weekly because I have to be there for her. I need to make sure that she hears a voice of somebody that loves her. And it's been very difficult, but I'm also very grateful for my in-laws who saw and heard that I was going through this, and they called and said, come visit us, get out of Massachusetts for a couple days and we will take care of you. And they spoiled me. They said, what do you want for dinner, this or this? I said, I don't want to make any decisions. That's all I do all my life is make decisions. I don't want to make decisions, just do. So they took me on a trolley tour. They took me to an art museum. They fed me, and it was just, 3 days away, but I so needed it, and I'm feeling so much stronger now and more able to help Greta and all my other friends that are also going through loss this month. So thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Debbie Merrill. I just wanted to say a few things about my friends Sandra and Saldi. Sandra was one of my first friends at this church, and I met her originally at the food pantry, and she taught me all of the ins and outs of food pantry protocol. Those of you who have been there know that that's a lot. But our friendship really developed in the years that we were both in the Monday morning meditation group. And I came to understand Sandra as a really, really good person, a good soul. She always went deep. Our conversations at New Cafe and her house and my house were always I felt more connected to her than anyone because of just the depth of what we shared. And I will miss her very much.
Hello, my name is Paul, and I owe an apology to Aaron because I offered to help with the sound last week, but I ended up working on Saturday. And well, I went to work on Saturday only to find out I had no work on Saturday, but it was too late for me to come back. And on my way home, I ran into a friend of mine that I used to work with, and he says, "We're going to Hasty Puddings." I don't have a ticket. And he goes, I have an extra ticket. So I went there and had a real good time. And what I liked about it was not necessarily the actors, the students were having such a fun time with that show. And it just, I mean, things were happening, they were messing up, but it was funny. I mean, it was just a joy to watch everybody play. And I was giving people advice this morning, okay? And I expect you to take it. It's kind of a joke here. Never trust somebody who wears suspenders.
Good morning. I'm John Brooks. My wife Courtney is in the back there. We've been coming since the new year, so relatively new, but first time doing this. But I wanted to share a joy and wrap a pitch in there as well. So our older daughter, we have 3 daughters, Edith is 10, and then we have twins, Lulu and Josie, who are gonna be 8 in March. Our oldest daughter is in the Worcester Children's Chorus, and here's where the pitch comes in. They always need more singers, especially boys. So if you know anybody who sings and is around 4th grade, you know, look them up. They performed the national anthem at the Railers game on Friday. She was very nervous. I had to listen to her sing the national anthem in the car for like a week to make sure she got it all right.
Say what?
Also, she was just also nominated to or named to the All-State Choir, the only 4th grader of the 4 kids in her school. So I know, thank you, yes. A little bit of a brag. Anyway, they did great. She sang the national anthem. It was terrific. I was very proud.
Watch out, Kid Little.
What's that? Oh, it's an echo. Okay, sorry. I thought it's God again. Oh, jeez. So yes, little pitch. If you know anybody, look them up. They need more singers. They're always open to more singers. And I suppose by way of sorrow, the Railers blew a 4-1 lead in the 3rd period and lost 5-4 in overtime. So, wah wah. But we still had a great time, and thanks.
Hi, I'm Linda Tertullian Wyatt. I am one of the co-chairs of the music committee at First U with Tracy Kedian, and we have some other music committee members here. We are so grateful to be here, and it's been a joy to have Allegra and Matt together. Some of us have worked with Matt, and of course we have Allegra at First U, so thank you for having us. And I also am grateful because we sang Love Will Guide Us today, and this is a pitch too. We have on March 16th at First U, there's a songwriting workshop with Sally Rogers. Kids are welcome. It's only $10 for the kids. It's at 2 to 3:30, and then they also will have a ticket to the concert, which is at 7:30. And then we have an adult workshop with with Claudia Schmidt, which will be out simultaneously. And that ticket for both would be $30 for the workshop, and then come to the concert if the doors open at 7. But if you can't do the workshop, please come to the concert at 7. Doors open at 7, 7:30, $25. You can get it on brown paper tickets, or you can also come and get tickets at the door. So come and have a joyful time with them. Thank you.
Why don't you come this way?
Always the entrance now. But you know what? I have to get up and address Sandra Ansaldi. I was in a women's group with her, of all things, trying to ferret out, discover end-of-life issues. And we talked about everything. And so I've been meeting with Sandra once a month for like 5 or 6 years. And she was the youngest one of this little group. And when she suddenly, very suddenly died, it was the day before our group. And I had sent her an email and left a message, not knowing she was dead. Where are you? Aren't you coming? All this kind of stuff. She was a really good person, and some of you might know her as the toy room lady. She was the one at the yard sales that always, this mountain of, gadgets that needed batteries, and she whipped that place into a beautiful state and sold much. But you know what? I just have to do it. It's like, this is such a clear statement of, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes for that matter. Get your things kind of in order. Keep telling the people you love them, because life can just change in a moment and never be quite the same. So anyway, she was a really good person, and we will miss her a lot. Thanks.
Couple of joys online. Beth Posner Walden writes, I'm so happy to hear the combined choirs this morning and hope this begins a tradition. I'm at home with a mild case of COVID, but was disappointed to have to cancel the Dementia Friends information and awareness program on Wednesday. We'll work to reschedule that at a future lunch with the minister. Angela St. Laurent writes, I'm sorry Olivia and I can't be there due to our car accident. Thank you to all who sent your well wishes. We are healing well. I miss you all, and I'm looking forward to being able to come and be with you again. Cheryl Lachey says, please light a candle for the daughter of a friend who is going through serious family crisis. And Lynn Gustia writes, prayers for her husband, David Williams, who is at UMass after a dangerous low blood pressure and heart rate that they seem to be attributing to a reoccurrence of COVID. And Bernadette Nelson writes, I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you all to sing with the combined choirs due to a bad cold. I'm there with you remotely. You all sound wonderful. Are there any other online joys or sorrows? No. I never know whether my mic is on or off. I need to have something hooked up to my glasses, a little red light or green light that says you're on or you're off. And then my wife would want the remote. Right? Yeah, there you go. Let's be in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, you which have been called forth this day in the midst of many joys and sorrows, we call upon the spirit of love and hope and healing to be with us as we grapple with the death of friends, with those who are infirmed and in need of healing. Mindful this day of the joys of community that surround and sustain and hold us during challenging times. And mindful this day and heart-filled with the spirit of music and the spirit of cooperation and friendship. Let us bask in this for a moment before we return to our own harried lives, and take with us the sense that we are more than our doing, that we are being, and we are you. Amen. And blessed be. I'm going to strive to give you the 5-minute version of a 30-minute sermon. How many of you are aware of the Article 2 Study Commission within the Unitarian Universalist Association? A handful of you? So if you're not aware of this, Article 2 refers to the second article in the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and it is the article that contains what we have come to refer to as the principles and purposes of Unitarian Universalism, along with the sources of our living tradition. And over the last few years, a commission has been developed by the Unitarian Universalist Association to study that particular section of the bylaws and to make recommendations after 30 years of those bylaws for changes and substantive changes they are suggesting, which has led to much discussion, in some places ire, in other places confusion, in some places joy and celebration, all of which is to say, it's normal. And in their final report, the Commission writes that the Commission refers to an earlier Commission on Appraisal report engaging our theological diversity that cites Robert Miller's study of Unitarian Universalists, stating, UUs ranked loving as an instrumental value and a mature love as a terminal value more highly than did respondents from other groups, religious or non-religious. Continuing, Dr. Cornell West says that justice is what love looks like in public. They state our commitment to personal and institutional and cultural change rooted in anti-oppression and anti-racism and multiculturalism values and practices is love in action and should be centered in any revision of Article 2. And so in Section C 2.2, the values and covenant of the association, they say, as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of our living, our shared values through the spiritual disciplines of love. I read this and then I had this vision of my Universalist ancestors, because I'm a fourth-generation Universalist Unitarian, which means that I'm genetically predisposed to Universalism. And I can hear my ancestors, half of them going, shit, they finally got it. Oh my God. It has only taken since 1770 for them to discover that love is the center of the movement. Isn't that amazing? The other half of them are angry because back in 1961, when we talked a lot about merging, there were those Universalists who said, we're going to be subsumed by Unitarianism. Our history will be forgotten. Our theology will be subordinated. Our way of worshiping will cease to exist. And they were right. So much of what Universalism was faded in the presence of a much stronger traditional history of Unitarianism, stronger in terms of its organizational structure, stronger in terms of its social power at the time, stronger in terms of its attraction of the generation that came to be Unitarian Universalists in the 1960s and 70s. That isn't to say that we ought not honor Unitarianism. That is a given in many ways. But there is underneath all of this now desire to center ourselves on love, an echo that says, y'all are about reparation, y'all are about repairing, y'all are about making certain that we engage in conversations that unpack the way we have marginalized others. What the hell about us? What about those of us who told you love was your center and you didn't believe us? It is a moment for us to consider both that we ought to honor and celebrate this awakening and humble ourselves to the fact that back in the 1770s and 1790s, there were people who already knew this and had been living it. And from a ministry standpoint, I want to say, what do you mean love? I mean, come on. Ministers, you know, we're the ones who every time we're asked to do a wedding have to talk about love. And it usually comes to the form of a particular scriptural reference. Anyone want to hazard what that reference is? 1 Corinthians what? 13. Say it with me now. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things, yada, yada, yada. And we ministers, we do this every single time, and every single one of us that has studied this passage knows it has gotten nothing to do with marriage. And yet we repeat it all the time. I was asked to do a reading at my brother-in-law's wedding, and it was this. This was probably, 15 years ago. I was here at the time, and we went to Pennsylvania, and at the last minute, my wife on the way down said, he's probably going to ask you to read something. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. You know, I'm glad to do whatever he'd like. And so, again, you know, it was like, can you do 1 Corinthians 13? And I'm like, oh, please, please, please be the King James Version. Please, 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 please. And he's like, yes, it's the KVG. And I'm like, excellent. So I get up there and I do it. And afterwards, as I'm standing with family in the line, everyone came by me and goes, what do you do as a living that you could read that so very well? In English, love, we're too simple. We have the word love, right? And we apply it to everything, including the center of our movement. But that particular word is got far more derivation in the languages out of which we gain this scriptural understanding. In the Greek, there's philos, love of family, eros, where we get erotic from, right? The erotic love, agape, divine love, and caritas, love yearning for reunion with its source. And 100 years ago, if you had actually been listening to scripture as it was spoken, 1 Corinthians 13 would have ended this way, and now abideth faith, hope, and what? And charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. Right? So where does love come from? Turns out that charity is derived from caritas, the highest form of love, love yearning to be united with the source of love, which is where we come back to this notion of faith, hope, and love, these three, and the greatest of these is love. It was Augustine who saw the highest form of love as caritas, the soul yearning to return to God, the Creator. In Hindu texts, they describe the saint as striving to free his soul from the lure of the sensory world by returning to Atman. These are the words of Simon May in his wonderful book, Love, a History. So Atman, the ground or essence of all selfhood. And then it was Platonius, the pagan thinker of the 3rd century CE that later became so central to Christianity, who spoke of merging with the highest one, the highest good, the one, an experience in which the individual is taken out of himself, literally in ecstasy, standing outside. In those Muslim mystics like Rumi, who sing of the individual soul returning to merge with God. And in a committed atheist like Schopenhauer, for whom the highest love transcends the condition of individuality and sees that all living being is one. All these cases, and like all great transformations of the self, says May, love is experienced as both a recovery and a discovery, as a return and as a going forth. I'm going to tell you about love's return this week for me. For those of you who were in service last week, you will remember that I had a tendency to refer to what we were doing as Potpourri Sunday. And I know damn well the word is potpourri. But I have a learning disability. And when I am tired and stressed, some of that condition floats to the surface and becomes precognitive. I had been talking with Robin all week long about the service, and she kept saying, "Isn't it potpourri?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course it's potpourri." I had not been hearing myself, and clearly not hearing myself last week. The problem is, no one came and talked to me about it. But I know you talk to each other. And my biggest frustration is that there were those who looked at those who have spent their creative time, energy, wisdom, and brilliance teaching me things like French. And instead of coming to me, went to them. And I want to say right now that was an act of cowardice. I deserve to be held accountable for the fact that I mispronounced a word. I've done that since I was 3 years old. And I have since learned that it is not that I am ignorant or that I am less than intelligent. It is that sometimes that happens. And I have learned that when it happens, it tells me something about myself. That I'm tired and that I'm stressed. When I was tired and stressed as a youth, I had a particular meditation that was very important to me, and it was a meditation where I felt myself lying with my head in the lap of the divine. Some soft lap with a hand stroking my head, telling me, "You're okay. Don't let this bother you. In the midst of a world that had determined by the age of 6th grade that I was not college material, that had determined that I was not capable of reading when I was in 3rd grade, that I was deficient. I want to go find some of those people and show them degrees. But more so, I want them to understand that having these kinds of challenges is not amount to a disability, it amounts to being differently abled. I have an extraordinary command of the English language. I can't spell for shit. I spell phonetically. So, you know, I see the word potpourri and it says potpourri, and in my head, I understand that it's potpourri and I can remember that and say it often, but when I am fatigued, before I open my mouth, my mind goes, that's potpourri, thank you very much. And for everyone who has ever experienced this, or for any family in here who has a child that's struggling with this, please hear me when I say to you, uncovering that these challenges exist is not the end, it is the beginning. I have spent my life learning to read, appreciating, and becoming addicted to books. And I read a lot, and I speak a lot. And I have a learning challenge. And sometimes when I'm tired, it surfaces. Love says, you're okay. It's a challenge. Move on. I want us to remember to love instead of critique. I want us to have the courage to surround each other in our most vulnerable moments, when we are most ashamed, and remind each other that we are also a child of God and that we are okay. That is the kind of love that I hope is at the center of our tradition. John Murray, our Universalist forebear, who in 1798 wrote the book Universalism Vindicated, which I think is a wonderful title and needs to be rebirthed today, right? In this moment. Takes his charge in the first chapter, not from Corinthians, but from Genesis and that wonderful vision of Jacob dreaming of a ladder. And he turns to that particular piece in Genesis and remembers that what is promised Jacob is that, and in the most contemporary version, it talks about, I promise you, Jacob, and your offspring. But what is talked about in the older texts is, I promise you your seed, and it will spread all over the place. And what Murray does with this is powerful. Murray asks the question, what's the substance of the seed? The obvious answer is, it's all of the descendants of Jacob. It is the house of Israel. It is the nation of people. And Murray turns around and says, the seed is divine love. Yes, you are a product of that love. You are also capable of manifesting that love, that core essence of everything. And I don't really give a shit whether you believe in God or not, because that's not what matters to me. What matters to me is whether you know that you are loved and you are capable of loving, and that you are able to understand how desperately important that is in this world at this time. And as Unitarian Universalists who want to center ourselves on love, I hope and I pray that they understand the importance of that essence. Tess Baumgardner was right in what she wrote. Love is willing to examine itself, she said. Its thoughts and actions and unmediated bias. It recognizes one's own power to harm or to be part of systems of harm with or without awareness, but once aware, it can only intend to make amends, to right wrongs, to change the systems that legislate hatred. Love is willing always to change, always to learn, always to heal. Love rejoices in truth and in equity. There is no limit to love's steady presence or its holding us gently but insistently to what is right. Amen. Amen. There is more love. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. Words of benediction this day are by Eric Williams. We all emerge. Clouds swirl against a blue and orange sky. We all emerge from, dwell within, are transformed by and called back to love. May your mind be humbled before this mystery. May your heart grow hopeful by it. May you be sustained by this love always. I wanted to acknowledge Allegra Martin. Thank the wonderful, wonderful people here who have brought their song and joy to us. We have one more piece, Take Down These Walls.
Take down these walls that divide us. Take down these walls so deep inside us. With all your heart and soul, reach out and make us whole. When all resistance falls, take down these walls. Take out this pain that surrounds us. Take out this strength that so confounds us. Let every battle cease. Give us with joy and peace. When struggle fades and falls, take down these walls. Can you hear us saying, shouting, praying, rise up together when the heart calls? Take down, break down, take down these walls. We will never stand to be divided. We will never spread the word of hate and fear. Always taking care of one another. Wondrous Lord is here. Take down these walls that divide us. Take down these walls so deep inside us. With all your heart and soul, reach out and make us whole. Can you hear us saying, shouting, praying, rise up together when the heart calls? Take down, break down, 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 take down, break down.
there any very short announcements? Like, yes, we got soup. What is the other? Soup? Cashew, cauliflower, and turmeric soup, and chili is the other option. $5, or if you have no money, it's on me. So.
And I have the Cool Bean Coffee House tickets today, so if you haven't bought them yet, come see me. $7 now, $10 at the door. We're going to have a great time to benefit IHN on February 24th. Get your tickets now.
Hi, everyone. I have some travel coming up soon, so I'll be missing a few Sundays. I'd really appreciate some folks signing up to help out for coffee hour. Thank you.
Once again, worship in this place has come to an end, but our service continues next with soup.